going to introduce you.
This is Inside with Outsiders. I'm Jeremy Asgari, and today we have the and Mel D.Cole. That's how we want to be introduced.
Right.
Yeah, you can bleep that out, right?
Yeah. Bleeping. What kind of show is this?
My mom watches.
Hi, Mom.
Man, Mel, I got to say, I'm honored to have you here. And I'm super proud of everything you've done, especially because we both come from a nightlife background.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who gets out of nightlife and also thrives and does amazing things, and I'm so proud to share your work. I'm really proud of you, man. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Where are you from, Mel?
I'm originally from Syracuse, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised there, but now I live around here, New Jersey.
Jersey City?
Yeah, Jersey City, downtown Jersey City. I settled in.
Yeah. Why'd you choose Jersey City?
Cheaper rent 20 years ago.
Yeah.
From Brooklyn. Coming from Brooklyn, and was looking for a place to stay that I can afford, and I never heard of Jersey City ever in my life. Driving down the West Side Highway, I always thought that, that area was a part of New York. So it's like, what is that over there? Yeah. Oh, that's New Jersey. And then
the untouchable Jersey, of course.
Yeah, my cousin was like, "Yeah, let's go check it out."
Yeah. So
checked it out and found a place for $800 a month downtown Jersey City, 2-bedroom. And I was like, "Yeah, this is it."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how much is that spot probably now?
It's probably sold for millions.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I wish I could have bought something back then, but didn't have my chips right.
Right.
Yeah.
All due time, right?
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Syracuse?
Well, I grew up in the south side of Syracuse. If you know Syracuse, it's the hood. It's where it's majority black folks, and it's also very, very, very low income. The area at one point in time, it was designated as one of the lowest income neighborhoods in the whole United States. So very poor, lots of crime, that whole kind of situation, was around me. But my family, we weren't super poor, but we were, not rich at all. So I didn't have to do and go through a lot of the things that some of my friends were going through, but I still went, there was some shit. So it wasn't always happy times, but it wasn't the worst at the same time. So it taught me a lot. It taught me how to survive. It taught me, basically it prepared me for, who I am today. And I know it sounds kind of cliche for everybody, to say, oh yeah, what I went through, but it's true, the shit that I went through back in the day, things that I can't even fathom my son going through, like having a gun pointed in your face, for someone thinking that you're someone else.
Really?
I got killed over mistaken identity, back in the day.
Yeah.
And, those things shake up your life. And, just to switch gears, like I just talked about my son, I hope that my son doesn't have to go through any of those things. That's why I work so hard. And
yeah. What's your son's name?
August. We call him Augie. August Stone Cole.
That's a great name. You're a super creative dude, always really fashionable. I love your style. I threw on my camo pants, yellow sneakers, and whatever.
I need a hoodie, man.
I got you.
Thank you.
Got you. Were you always you've always been a creative, obviously, but what were you like growing up? Were you also fashion forward, standing out from the rest of the kids?
I wouldn't say I was fashion forward. Standing out, yes, but it was always a fear of being different from where I'm from. It's like you had to fit in instead of fitting out. You didn't want to get made fun of, whatever. Not that I had a fear of that, but I saw what happens to the kids that stood out. So it was just it just never really crossed my mind. Or, even really having different types of friends until where I was supposed to be in the 11th grade. I met these two guys, Justin and JC Cameron. I believe that's their last name. And they're two mixed kids, white and black. And they weren't really on the creative side of things, but they were more on just like culturally different. So it showed me that, you know, being different was okay.
Right.
And this is like my first experience of really hanging out with white people because of
Really?
them. Yeah. Like they were watching Friends. And I was like, you guys aren't going to watch Martin?
I'm sorry they put you through that.
Yeah. You know, we go to a party and it's like, wait, everyone's just standing around drinking cans of beer? There's no dancing?
Really?
I was like, okay. This is interesting. But, you know, it's like the kind of things you have to go through, you know, to get to somewhere else. So, you know, with that being said, that showed me that, like, okay, it's okay to dress different, to be different, to even, you know, have a different style.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think there's a lot of similarities in every community with that, like having to fit in and not stand out too much.
Right.
I remember when I was in high school, it was like Tommy Hilfiger polo, and that was acceptable. But like once you wanted to get a little more creative, throw on the wide flare Jinko jeans, people looked at you a little funny.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And I remember I had a certain pair of jeans that I wouldn't necessarily wear in Jersey, but if I'm out in Manhattan, I throw those on. You know, that's what I would do.
Yeah, you get away with it in the city.
Exactly. Plus, no one knows you, so there's a sense of like, you know, no judgment because no one knows you. When did you know you wanted to be a photographer? Like, is this also when you're back in Syracuse? And when did you leave Syracuse?
I left Syracuse in 1996 for college, and basically I went to school and never came back.
Where'd you go to school?
Never went back. Huh?
Where'd you go to school?
I went to 3 different colleges. High school. I'm a high school dropout. I had my GED, so I went to a community college called Mohawk Valley Community College in upstate New York, about 30 miles south. No, east, I guess. Yeah, east of Syracuse in Utica.
Mm-hmm.
Went there for a year and a half. Did great at first, but then I started messing up. So I transferred to Morrisville, which is about 40 minutes away from there, and that's where I blossomed. And it was like, oh, okay, like I really love this college thing. Got my associates, and then I went transferred to Stony Brook because my goal was to be in New York.
Right.
I wanted to be as close as possible, and ever since I met people at Mohawk Valley Community College, a lot of people were from New York, so I was coming down. I even stayed a summer in the Bronx, you know, so it was like, and if I didn't go to the city to stay for the summer, I stayed at school, you know, so I never was like, I can't go home because I'm either gonna die, I'm gonna go to jail, something bad is gonna happen, I need to stay away. So Stony Brook, and like I said, the goal was to get as close as possible to New York, but little did I know Stony Brook was 2 hours away from New York.
Long Island.
Back in the day, and taking a train, and you know, it was 2 hours on the train. But yeah, that's so.
What did you study there?
At Stony Brook, I ended up studying cinema and cultural studies, and I have a minor in African American history.
Okay.
So to answer your question about photography, that didn't happen until 2001, with a disposable camera at a concert. One of my favorite rappers, Common. Just going just to
Who is it?
Common Sense.
Yeah.
Just going to document. It wasn't even like, I never even used the word document. I was like, I'm gonna take photos. This is my favorite artist.
Yeah.
You know, I just want the memories, just like I would do at my family reunion or, you know, the barbecue or whatever. And that's what I did. Took the photos, got them developed at Rite Aid or whatever, and put them in a shoebox. And then it wasn't maybe like a couple of months later, I'm reading Complex, I'm looking at Rolling Stone. Then the light bulb went off. Bing! It's like this light up here. And I said, oh, I think my photos are just as good as these photos.
With a disposable camera.
With a disposable camera. Yes. So it's like those photos inspired me, Common inspired me, and I was just like, I needed to inspire myself to make the push to go for it.
So what was your next step from there?
Buy a digital camera.
Okay.
Because I didn't have the patience for film.
Yeah.
I took a film class in college, and I was like, no, this isn't for me. Like, my brain just doesn't work like this. So I had to, I got a digital camera that at the time was decent. It was 4 megapixels, if you can fathom that.
Isn't I don't know, iPhones a lot more than that now?
Yeah. Way more. So it was a Fuji, I forget, Fun Pick something, but you couldn't tell me that I wasn't popping.
Right.
You know, I was out the door with it, and that was it. That was the camera.
Okay. So you got into I don't remember exactly when I met you because we crossed paths a million times in nightlife. And I do remember a trip we took to Vegas with Will Eddins. Actually, it was just in Vegas. I hung out with him. We talked about that trip, but for Magic or something like that.
Okay.
But you went. How did you get from this aspiring photographer to being like the go-to party and hip hop photographer?
Just being resilient, you know, being creative in the way that I approach things, never taking no for an answer, but also standing my ground, you know, not letting someone dictate my career. I wanted to dictate my own shit.
But was there like a specific event or something that you saw it was like a launch pad for your career?
No.
Really?
It was right time, right decade, right year.
Right.
You know, there wasn't at the time, you know, there's only a few guys, you know, there's only a few people in the world that were prominent, you know, concert photographers in my generation and also in nightlife. There are only a few guys.
Yeah.
And I just said that I'm going to be that guy for what I'm doing in my world, in my scene, in hip hop. I'm going to be one of those guys. So I don't know, I just went for it. I was just,
When you decided you wanted to be a photographer, how soon was it until you started making money full time from it, or did you have a side job?
I had a day job for, I would say, a lot of years too.
What was it? Was your day job?
Pharmaceutical company.
Really? What'd you do?
Data entry.
Okay.
Wearing freaking khakis and a polo shirt.
Mel D.Cole wearing khakis?
Yeah.
By the way, I want to compliment you on your pants today. You got the denim tears by our guy, Tremaine Emery.
Yes. Shout out to Tremaine.
Tremaine's the man.
Yeah. I was wearing the khakis and the shirt, and I hated it. I did it for 5 years until I thought that I was the man. I thought that I was too big for this job that was paying me $42,000 a year.
Right.
You know, and that I got from a temp agency that turned into full-time employment that was paying my bills and, you know, everything was on time, you know, being paid. I was living by myself. Life was, you know, pretty good. I, you know, didn't have to worry about making money from photography because I had this paycheck coming in and I quit. And it was the best, worst decision of my life because basically it humbled me. You know, because prior to that, you know, I would go in the city, get off the train. Sometimes I'll be recognized 5, 6 times for walking to the event, then get to the event or whatever, and just walk in. Like, you know, it's a long ass line. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm the man.
It's a false sense of success, though.
Oh yeah,
because it doesn't translate over to dollars.
Yeah, it's like having a bunch of followers on Instagram now, and you're not making any money.
Or even being a club promoter and everyone knowing you because you throw parties. But what do you really offer, though?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. So. Yeah, I don't know. There was the day job was. Oh yeah, what I was saying is that the quitting taught me a lot. It taught me that, you know, this $100 that I'm about to make from Roxy working her event, or, you know, the money that I thought that I could get from Coltrane from doing some brand stuff. Is it going to be consistent?
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be all the day. It's not going to equate to $40,000, which was like, I didn't even think about it, but that would be the minimum amount that I needed to make, you know, to be like, okay, you know, I didn't realize that the downs were going to be much more than the ups at that time.
And what year was this?
This was, let's see, 2, 3, 4, like 2006 or so.
Okay. So I think right before we reconnected through like the Karma Loop office, I think.
Okay.
But so I remember we had talks about nightlife money and consistency and getting paid, like doing a job and getting paid.
Right.
That wasn't always the case.
No.
Yeah.
Like I remember, getting hired by a venue and having to go to the venue to pick up the money, and then sometimes the money isn't there. You got to wait. I'm like, I don't got time for this. So, like the way my brain worked, I needed to figure out like I want to be bigger than the damn club.
So like, how'd you connect with? First off, I love your banter with Questlove. That's my favorite. Yes. Sometimes I'll just be there for the comments, right? How'd you connect with that? Was that one of the stepping stones that got you more consistent work? How did you guys like become friends and enemies at the same time?
Just like I said, being consistent, never taking no for an answer. Just going to the show, showing up, and what I noticed, also adding in being aware. I would go to a few shows and I would never see the same photographer there working with them. They never had a personal or a band photographer. So I'm that guy. I'm not going to tell you I'm that guy, but I know I'm that guy, but you're going to tell me that I'm that guy.
Right.
And that's what happened. Like once you call me the 11th root, member, all this stuff, then I know like, it's unsaid,
right.
That I'm that guy for you guys. So, and then it said like, those are my guys, like any show I know I'm getting into, I know I'm photographing. So it was just like being consistent. Yeah. And also the key is just putting out amazing work of them where they're like expecting you to come, and they want you to come because you're giving these amazing photos and putting them out there to the world to see.
There's also something to say about your personality, right? They're not going to work with somebody who they don't enjoy their company and so on. So
trust.
Trust. You've worked with, like you said, you mentioned Roxy, you mentioned Questlove. I mentioned Questlove for you. A lot of people who recognize you're cool, and the easiest way to put it is like you're cool. You're not going to be that photographer who's there just to get clout, but you're actually doing work with their best interest in mind.
Yes, the clout comes from your work.
Yeah,
and then everything else is gonna fall in line. That's how I've always looked at it. And when I first started, when I looked in Complex magazine, it was two photos. Like, I want to take these photos, but also I want to be in the back. There was the party section, and I want people to take photos of me.
Right.
And, goal accomplished, but still, pushing on. And I always look at it like the glass is not always full. It's what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, let's actually go to 2020. I obviously that was a huge change in your life and all of our lives, right? With the pandemic and then the whole push for the BLM movement. I don't even know. I don't know what word to use to describe, because I wouldn't call them riots or whatever, because I think it was just people taking initiative and standing their ground. Like you said, you stood your ground for work, and then like now making their voices heard for something they really felt was needed to be said. And man, that changed your life and changed a lot of people's lives. But want to speak on that?
Sure. I mean, like you said, it changed my life. Was at a point in time where, for me personally, before the pandemic happened, where I was trying to figure out what is my next direction. Like, what do I do? Have I done all that I can do in this music industry stuff? I'm getting kind of bored with photographing the same musicians. I'm not interested in searching out these new musicians. I don't want to be at Webster Hall waiting for whatever new buzzing artist to come on at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I'm too old for it, and I'm just not interested in the new music like that.
And you weren't fulfilled by it anymore.
No. So it's like, what I'm saying? What else is there? I need a project. I need something.
You need something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I told myself, long ago, that if something, it wasn't long ago, I guess when the Baltimore protests were happening, and I said to myself, if anything like that ever is to happen, that I'm going to dedicate myself and my craft to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Pandemic happens, there's nothing to shoot, and luckily for me, I've already established that, I'm comfortable with shooting street stuff. I'm comfortable with shooting, all these different types of photography within the genre of photography. So it wasn't like a hard transition to go out in the streets and start capturing these protests.
But one of the things that stand out to me as far as the style of photography are the different things you shot. You shot parties, you shot concerts, but you had a series of shots that were about homeless people, right? How did you decide to do that? And what did you do beyond shooting? Because I know you weren't just shooting their photo. You did more than that.
Well, shoot, that all comes from coming back from the clubs late, taking the train back home and seeing what I saw. And at first it started just documenting, not talking to people. Then that started getting old to me. It's like I need to start telling the stories. And also, like, I don't want to just take. I need to give. And the way that I can give is, trying to amplify homelessness,
right.
in the different reasons why people are homeless. There's a gazillion ways, and people, they have the stigma, whatever that is. They're crazy, they're this, it's mental, but sometimes it's just a dude that got kicked out of his house and he's having, domestic problems at home and he don't have any place to go. So he sleeps outside the church with his suit on. I have a picture of a guy like this, and he's going to work the next morning. He just don't have money.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, the project is called Homeless World, and it's an off and on again project. Just like a lot of artists, we pick up and go, but it's never ending. But yeah, that's that. And also, I was gonna say, it's also about giving back too, which is super important. So as I evolved as a man and as a human being, there's times you go out and you just bring stuff,
I mean, it seems like every one of your projects has some sort of social awareness aspect to it. Even you're a big football fan, and football, not just American football, but soccer fan.
Soccer, yes.
And you did this amazing thing called, you're currently doing it, Charcoal Pitch.
Yeah, Charcoal Pitch FC.
And I want to talk about what you feature there and how because there's a huge differentiator with what you capture.
So Charcoal Pitch FC is the first and only Black-owned soccer-specific photo agency dedicated to telling Black and multicultural stories within the soccer space worldwide. It started from my love of playing FIFA on PlayStation, and that evolved into saying, another light bulb goes off. Why not turn this passion, of playing soccer on PlayStation into, something tangible and actually doing something that not only is socially conscious, it helps the world, and it's specifically the United States, in trying to grow the sport of soccer here. You have this pay-to-play system, which sucks, and a lot of people of color don't get the opportunity to experience soccer because they don't see it as a way of to get out of wherever situation they're in. So you get a lot of guys, in my opinion, that see a way out by playing NFL, NBA, because that's what's next to them. That's what's the cool sport.
Right.
And I always said that if we in America, specifically on our national team, if we had a person with half the talent of, let's say, LeBron James playing soccer, things might be different for us.
I mean, that goes along with anything. Like, if we had somebody showing somebody the ropes as far as the medical industry or finance or anything, because there's a lot of people who won't reach their potential because they never find what they can be the best at. And was that Jay-Z said everyone has the potential to be great no matter what it is. Find what it is. Yeah, I think I mean, we have some amazing athletes. Look at the NBA. Look at people like Westbrook and
Right.
formerly D Rose before the injury. This athleticism, it could translate into any sport.
Any sport.
Any
yeah.
sport.
But
yeah.
but I also like to think that look at the people that don't even make it professionally in these sports. Those are the people that because you've only tried that sport.
You might have the athleticism for another one, but you don't have the skill set for hand-eye or whatever.
You've never been placed in a position where you had the opportunity. Yeah. So part of what I'm trying to do is to make make the sport look cool by providing a platform to give like fans, which are super important. I did this work with Chelsea out in London, where I told the story of 5 black super supporters of the club here in New York from all 5 boroughs. I'm going to potentially release another form of these videos called The Bridge. Pretty soon, we're wrapping up production on that. I've started a mini documentary with Roma. I've worked with the Premier League telling black stories.
Yeah.
So these are the type of things that I'm getting after, and also dabbling in some grassroots things. Like I've worked with a small club up in Harlem called FC Harlem.
I passed by them riding my bike on the west side of the park. Yeah.
Yeah, they're affiliated with Chelsea as well, and they're very, trying to just be a club that gives black kids and black kids, boys and girls, opportunities to play the sport.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do, with most things in life, with financial backing, right? Because a lot of these big clubs you're talking about have stuff for developed kids from the time they're really small until they're older. Now, Harlem FC, I'm sure, if they had that budget and that whole infrastructure, they could pump out some great athletes, right?
Yeah, you could. And then, you don't have to dream about, meeting Messi. You can actually play. You can play with him. And it's like me. What I find fascinating, this just came to my brain. It's like I was playing with Messi, in FIFA, I guess, how long has it been? 10 years, maybe? 9, 10 years ago, and I met Messi and photographed him in November of last year.
Yeah.
It's just like anything's possible. It's crazy.
I don't have... actually, I got a couple comparisons to that. I was a huge Tribe Called Quest fan, monstrous, when I was 12, 13, 14.
Right.
And then I got on a call with Tip like years later when I was throwing a party to get him to book a party. I was going through his assistant, was a friend of mine, and finally he's like, "Let me get the phone." I'm on the phone with Tip, and I'm like, "Oh man, this voice is what I remember hearing when I was like 13 years old, 14. It's amazing.
It's fucking crazy. Right?
It's great to see that feeling of being able to have a vision and a passion and turn that into your life's work.
Yes,
is beautiful. And I think that's the beauty of being a creative and an entrepreneur. But you have the honor of doing not only just that, but then bringing so much more to everybody who follows you on social. And the reason, and I'm speaking specifically of since 2020, anything that's politically charged or affecting the planet on many different levels, whether it be racism, sexism, and so on, you've covered. But what the beauty is that you're capturing it from your lens, kind of like why I liked Vice News initially when I first watched it, before it became only about weed, right? Vice would go to these different war-torn places, and you would see from the perspective of somebody like us, And I feel like a lot of people will see the news these days and feel like they're not getting shown what's real, because it's like all smoke and mirrors with major news outlets. But you're giving us like real perspective, like the White House situation, or it's January 6th.
January 6th, yeah.
Yeah, like you were there, like all these different places. What was the first thing that you captured that was like, all right, I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm taking this and going with it?
Well, I would say it was the first day of the George Floyd protests. I didn't necessarily think that I was going to turn into, add journalists to my repertoire. I didn't, or my resume. I didn't think that. I thought maybe there would be, 1 or 2 days, because I didn't know how to be a journalist when I first started. And, I was out, thinking that, okay, like I'm like 3/4 photographer today, and I'm like 1/4 protesting.
Right.
You know, but it can't be that way. You have to be either or, in my opinion, to get the job done, to do the job that I wanted it, the way that I wanted it to be done. Couldn't have, you know, I couldn't let my opinions, you know, sway me when I'm out trying to cover what's happening.
And I love that because news outlets are so polarized. You're getting CNN, which is super liberal, or Fox. Where's the middle ground? Where do you see someone who's going out and show you both sides? And I was actually surprised when you started like interviewing certain maybe Trump supporters or anti-BLM movement people. I'm like, wow, this is not surprised in a negative way. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, it's thank you for saying that. It's educational, you know, for me, and it seems like for a lot of people that are paying attention to what I've been documenting over the years. You know, my Instagram has been a place for, you know, a conversation, sometimes arguments, you know, but conversations where it's like people, you know, debate, talk, whatever about these sets of images that I have published into the world, which is astonishing to me, and I love it. And I just stay out the way and just let, you know, people talk and let them do their things unless it becomes nasty.
Yeah, when do you decide to interject?
I never comment, to be honest.
Really?
Never. Not in that stuff. Never.
Yeah,
because it's a part of the process. I'm staying out of the way. You know, like, and I think that's key because I don't want, you know, my opinions to affect, you know, I guess the work. Like my opinion's already there. Yeah. I've already picked the photos.
Right.
I'm editing, you know, I'm out taking the photos. I've seen all this stuff. So I've wrote the caption. It's all me.
Right. So
I'm not necessarily trying to have, you know, conversations about interjecting with everything. If someone asks a question, I know that someone else is going to answer it.
Right.
And the best thing that I could do if I find like there's a comment that sticks out, like the other day, you know, was it Wade versus Roe?
Roe versus Wade,
yeah. So, you know, there were a lot of the protests and rallies. So I went out to one at Foley Square, took a bunch of photos, I put them up, and you know, the comments start going, and most of them, I know a lot of my followers are very liberal, but there's also going to be the opposite side. They're coming, they follow me as well.
Right. Yeah.
So what I do sometimes is I'll just tag a comment, but from both perspectives that I think is a good one for conversation, you know, and that's the most I can do.
What do you mean you tag it?
I pin it.
Oh, pin it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You can pin multiple comments?
I think there's 3 right now. Yeah, 3 of them. And I know people are, because sometimes, honestly, it's like you go and I'm like, I'll go, why did you say that?
Right.
But instead of me answering that or replying, I'll just pin it.
Right.
And let everybody else talk to them.
Now, would there ever be a time, or would you see yourself actually interjecting or maybe creating another platform where you have your opinion?
No. My opinion is my photos.
Right.
That's my opinion. Because, yeah, that's the most I can do. I have no interest in that. Yeah, it's just my photos. It's my thoughts on the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, nah.
I mean, you have interviewed people on your stories.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard to be completely unbiased, right?
Oh, of course.
And you've been assaulted by people with opposing views without you being aggressive towards them.
Yes.
I remember one specific guy in Philly.
Yeah. I was punched in the face.
Yeah. What happened with that?
He's telling me to go home, go starve, and all, you know, racist stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm just standing there, and I think I'm pretty sure I had a mask during those times, and camera in one hand, you know, iPhone in another, and he just decked me in the jaw. Yeah, totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Not cool at all. Didn't deter me from staying and completing the task and the goal, and it didn't stop me from I'm talking to people
Yeah.
after that as well. Because there's that one bad apple, and there might be a bunch of bad apples on that side that they were counter protesting. But you know what? I'm not going to be afraid, because I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk to me, a black man. I'm specifically talking to white people that they were protecting the Christopher Columbus statue down in Marconi Plaza in South Philly.
Yeah. You're also giving them an opportunity to expose themselves.
Yeah, that too, but expose, I necessarily don't like to use that word when I'm doing my work, because I'm not trying to do gotcha.
But also
kind of shit.
It's also implying that you're this is also giving your opinion, right?
Yeah, it's more.
I'm saying from my perspective, when I see a dude hit my friend, you're exposing yourself as an asshole.
Yeah, for sure. There are people that expose themselves as assholes, but I'm more like when I'm talking to these people, like I'm legit interested.
Yeah.
Like I want to know why do you think the way that you're thinking, because I'm actually learning from this, and I know that the thousands of people that follow me, they're gonna be interested in it as well. You might not agree with it, but you gotta, I mean,
some of the most interesting ones, and I can see your curiosity. I mean, it's clear as day, because we all like the black Trump supporters, or anyone who's a minority supporting something that's essentially doesn't say outright that they're against minorities, but they are. And the questions you ask, I'm like, the responses is like mind blowing. But you're asking these questions that everybody wants to know why.
Yes, why? And a lot of times I know that, it's important, because, there'll be people that you would never talk to this person. You're like, oh, I'm not going to talk to them. Why would I ever talk to them? It's like, well, why not? Go talk to that person. And that's me. I'm going to go talk to them. No fear. I'm not coming in with any judgment. That's probably a lie. I am judging, but I'm not.
But keeping your judgment to yourself.
I'm keeping it to myself. Yeah. I'm not, I'm just letting them explain to me. Every now and then I might hear something real crazy, and I might be like, oh, I don't think that's true, but it's the way that you word it to them, where they're not like, oh.
Exactly.
Like I've had where was I? In Richmond, and a Proud Boy told me that he wasn't racist because he listens to hip hop. And I told him, no, bro, that's no. That's
you don't get a pass.
No, you don't. It's okay, but no, don't say that.
Actually, you took a photo of a pamphlet a Proud Boy gave you, and it was really interesting. Like, it was a little postcard, promo card, and it said everybody's welcome, all that. But it had messaging that made it sound like they weren't racist.
Yeah.
But what it did have blatantly was sexist.
Yeah.
The sexist messaging.
Yeah. I wonder I'm pretty sure I still have it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. If you have it, if you mind sending it to me, I'd love to post it and show people.
I have to find it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I kept it because I thought it was important to have.
Yeah, that was wild. With all these changes and this new angle, as far as I'm sure you've always had these views or this urge to show both sides. Maybe you haven't, but what stands out as far as what events did you shoot that you feel have the most impact, or that you thought were change for you?
Well, the most impactful event that life event that I've ever photographed, I guess, is January 6th, being at the Capitol building. My life had already changed, from just doing the type of photography that I was already doing: nightlife, concerts, street stuff, brands, little fashion stuff, travel. I was already doing all that stuff. It was already in a repertoire, but journalism, not really. Being a photojournalist, that wasn't it. So, but it was already there when that happened. And, just having the wherewithal to go to D.C. that day, a couple of photographer friends were telling me, oh, you should go. And I was like, I don't know. The last two didn't seem eventful, and quite honestly, I'm overwhelmed. I'm done. I'm fed up. Like, I've done Trump rallies. I've talked to many people. I was like, I just need a break. But something just told me, go. It's going to be his last hurrah, his big last speech. And that's the only reason why I went. And little did I know that it was going to be one of the most significant, moments in American history that, it's going to be around forever.
Right.
This will be studied in history books.
And your documentation is unique because you're in the mix. Like, you see traditional news is around the perimeter.
Yeah, they weren't there. Traditional news cameras weren't there. There weren't any. When I got there, I was surprised, but they didn't want them to be there. They attacked, the traditional news people. CNN broke their cameras. A lot of photographers got their cameras broken. But what was, the scary part is just being there, as a black man surrounded by people that, if I had to assume, there would be a lot of people that, probably wouldn't like me just because of who I am. But luckily, I didn't run into any of those people. I saw Confederate flags waving. I saw, the chants. Nothing that directly towards me, but it was scary.
I mean, it almost seemed like some of them wanted to speak to you.
Oh yeah, they wanted to speak.
Yeah,
because I don't know if they thought that I was one of them, but I had on my hunting jacket, which I usually wore throughout the protests in general. It's light, movable, and I didn't care about destroying it. But maybe that was it. But they were just comfortable with speaking with you. Like, no one wanted to say no to speaking. Like, everyone wanted to talk that day. And that day, like, it was crazy. I mean, interviewing people as they came down from the stairs of bashing, the Capitol Police upside the head. I'm interviewing a guy as he's getting his eyes washed out because he got pepper sprayed. A black young man. I think about that and I'm just like, damn, like, that's crazy. I'm interviewing, like, and they're trying to break it right there. And I look back at it, I was like, I was there. That's my voice that I'm listening to. Yeah. And I asked him, I said, you about to go back up there? He's like, yeah, I'm not done. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, whoa, you are insane. But then the documentarian in me, I'm like, hell yeah, like, go for it, because if you're not gonna, I'm here, we doing this, so you might as well go, do it. A lot of photographers, they don't want to admit this, but the camera loves drama. It loves the excitement. It loves, the movement, the craziness.
I mean, you're talking about the camera, but that's obviously the photographer, the cameraman, and I think everybody. Look, listen, it's like watching a car wreck, right?
Yes.
You can't turn your eyes away. There's some sort of thrill, even if it's negative, and not because you want there to be negativity.
Right.
You can't turn your head.
I'm not creating it.
Right.
But I will document it.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job documenting it, man.
Thank you.
I love seeing, like, again, I trust your camera. I know you're not getting paid by someone to show a certain side.
No, not at all.
But you are getting paid by brands now.
Yes.
So is that your main, if you don't mind talking about it, is that your main revenue source, is partnerships?
No, there's a balance, it's I mean, basically running two companies, Charcoal Pitch FC and then photography side, so it's a balance of both. Charcoal Pitch FC is doing very well. Working with, Chelsea is just a great client to have, even though they're going through some ups and downs right now with finding a new owner. But they're great to have, in the pocket, and there's going to be some very amazing things that come out of my relationship with them. So it's a balance of both. But I mean, I've been, I would say, for a big part of my career working with brands on the photography side, but just now it's more close to being direct versus working with only, like, let's say, like with Team Epiphany.
Right, exactly. Shout out to Coltrane for the support too, because he was a big advocate for you during the pandemic.
My career wouldn't, a big advocate with the pandemic, but my career wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for him way back when. Yeah. Because when I was just documenting, shooting stuff, just because it's what I wanted to do, because I was passionate, I would document his events and post them on my website, villageslum.com, back in the day.
Shout out to Village Slum.
Yeah. And he found out who I was and called me in for a meeting, and I walk in and it's him and Jarrett.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, like kind of checking out the atmosphere, what are they up to? Okay, I got an office in Midtown, where was it, downtown at the time. I'm like, okay, cool. They sat me down and it was like, yeah, this is what you should be doing, this and this. And I looked at them like they were crazy. I was like, wait, what? I could make this from that? And they were like, yeah. He's like, you came in, you took better photos than the photographer we hired. We're definitely going to use you. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. Then hit him up, and the next thing I know, I'm getting paid to shoot events for them. Yeah. And for more money than I thought. Right. Because I didn't know that.
And you're fortunate to have people like that are like friends that are willing to tell you, like, okay, they know your rate is probably lower. Yeah. But they want to pay you for what you deserve in the standard.
They have the budget, and he taught me my worth, how much I was worth, my talent was worth at that point in time.
And that's a blessing. Because not having someone tell you your value in regards to business-wise, you can go years and you can never know. Right. If you don't have somebody that's helping you.
I knew photographers were making a lot of money then, but I didn't know, an event photographer could make the kind of money that, he was willing to pay me. And I didn't know that was a standard then in that, so shout out to Coltrane. Like I tell him all the time, like he, changed my life at that time, cause he provided, from that day on, so many opportunities for me when I was, when I told you about me quitting the job. That was the best and worst. So I had to get another job after that.
What'd you do then?
What were you doing? I was working at Komodo. It's called SSL certificates. Another thing I was doing phone service, but it was easier for me because it's 12 to 8, didn't have a dress code, and I was able to go out after and sleep in, going out in these streets. And I wind up, after that job, Coltrane and Jarrett came through again because I wind up, it got to the point where I couldn't work a job anymore. The opportunities were coming in. People want me to travel, do this, do that. And it's just like, okay, I got to quit. So I said, I made this plan for myself. I said, all right, cool. I'm going to get myself fired so I can get unemployment.
How do you get yourself fired?
Just didn't do enough work. Didn't stop. I didn't care in the first place, but I really stopped caring. So, but just enough, where they couldn't debate with the, giving me unemployment. So they gave it to me, but like within 2 months, I had to say, I can't mess with unemployment because Coltrane had a big opportunity for me, working, doing this thing with Heineken, where I was sponsored by them. It was like 5 of us, me, Vashti, and I forget the other people in the crew, and they thought that I was going to be the person not to do the greatest job because I was the lesser known out of these. I weren't even calling them influencers then. So, but I smashed it. Yeah. And I said, all right, here's this year opportunity. I'm making good money and providing the service, getting beer to people, all this stuff. And I was like, all right, cool.
And it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So like having someone like Coltrane in your pocket, in your corner is.
Yeah, I agree. It's valuable. And speaking of fun, I want to know a little bit about you personally. What do you do for fun when you're not working? It seems like you're working all the time.
I still play PlayStation,
FIFA,
Call of Duty. Okay. Yep, and FIFA. Did I play last night? No, because I was tired. I worked all day. Shot this thing for Jeff Staple and Toomey. But yeah, no, I still play PlayStation.
Ride your bike?
I haven't been riding my bike, actually. Not nearly enough. Riding inside on the Peloton.
Really?
Yeah.
You went from riding outside to a Peloton?
I mean, I've been, when I got the Peloton, I do a lot, but I haven't rode my, I was thinking about that the other day. I haven't rode my bike. You gotta ride. But I think I'm gonna ride my bike today, because I'm gonna go get a haircut after this.
Okay, and you got to come out to some more Outsiders. So you believe it or not, you definitely, you've been a supporter of Outsiders from early on. Like, you came to our surf event, some of the bike events, you did a hike, and you were actually asking me questions in the hike that made me think about the direction of Outsiders and so on. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I remember asking you. I told you I love the name. That's a name. Like, you gotta have a great name in business, and for me, that was always the starting point. For you have all these ideas, but if you don't have a good name, you could do it. You're gonna change the name. It happens all the time in business, but you get that great name, and the name can market itself.
It's true. What are your goals personally and business wise? Like what were your goals and dreams prior to ever being a photographer, like when you were a kid?
All right, let's see. Dreams before when I was a kid, to be just like Bruce Smith, who's a former football player for the Buffalo Bills. He also played for the Redskins, but we forget about that. He is my sporting hero. I wanted to be like him. I played football growing up. And also I wanted to be just like my dad. My dad owned a record shop for a lot of years of my life, so I thought that was going to be my career path. Right. Little did I know the malls were going to kill record shops, and then MP3s and all this was going to kill the whole industry. Right. So, yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do for a long time. That's why I ended up getting a temp job after college, and I was never even heard of pharmaceuticals. I'm the data entry. I don't even know really computers like that. But it worked out. What else?
And goals now,
goals now.
Yeah, what's your dream or your goal right now?
To continue to just kill it, man. Continue to evolve and not be the same photographer that I am, today. To be better. At every aspect of my life, and things that I think that I'm great at, to be even greater. I want to publish more books. I have 2 currently published, so I want to do more of that, and I just want to travel more and see the world.
Matter of fact, I gotta check my Amazon because I ordered one of your books and it never came through. But I have to check because I think something happened.
Okay, I'll check out. You better hurry up. They only have 14 copies left. Oof. Yeah, it's almost sold out.
I'm gonna get that when we're done with the interview. What is your most embarrassing moment?
Most embarrassing moment in life? Shoot. I was just listening to some embarrassing moments on the radio. Those might not be appropriate for this show.
I gotta hear that offline.
Yeah. Let's see. My most embarrassing moment. I don't know. I know I have some, but you put me on the spot on that one. I don't know.
All right, we could pass on that question.
And maybe it'll come to me.
Is there anything I haven't asked you that you'd love to share? Anything about yourself?
Anything about myself? Things that I like to say about myself, that I'm dedicated to being the most amazing dad of all time. Like, I want that crown. So all the great dads out there, y'all got a lot of competition. Like, I'm wearing the crown. I try to do my, the greatest job possible, trying to raise an amazing son, trying to give him all the things that, I didn't have, and provide all these amazing opportunities. So everything that I do, all this photography stuff, all this influencer stuff, all this, everything, it's all about him, like making sure that, he's successful, like Montessori. How do you say it? Montessori school?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that growing up, but my son is going to win.
Nice.
They say it's the way. Okay. So this is what we're doing. So for me, that's super important.
Yeah, I love seeing your post interaction with your son. You're getting that title definitely in his eyes for sure.
Yes.
All right, so I kind of want to keep this under with this time constraint, so we're cutting this a little bit short. But I definitely want to get you back here because I want to do a little episode, maybe not necessarily Inside with Outsiders, but about how nightlife is and entertainment is an amazing school to learn. How to become a hustler and do things differently. But the last series of questions is 5 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You know how that works. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's your favorite city other than New York City?
London.
Why London?
I have a lot of friends there, and soccer.
Okay.
Business as well, but didn't start off as business.
Right.
Going there, start off as pleasure, you know. But now it's because when I first went to London, I didn't even like soccer.
Right.
And so now I love it, and just seeing that aspect of the culture there is just astonishing to me.
I've got a confession. I travel a lot, you know that, and I'm in Paris 3 times a year visiting family. I've never been to London. I'm going. I'm going in June for the first time. So I need some tips, and if you got anyone I should meet, connect.
London is amazing. Paris is good too. It's 2 hours.
Yeah, I know, and it's crazy. I've been to Paris over, I don't know how many times, 50 times in my life, 30 times. Never been to London. If you could do any other profession, what would you do?
I would be the President of the United States of America. That's what I would be.
For real?
Yeah. Why not?
Would you consider a political path?
No.
Ever?
No.
Okay. All right, cool. Makes perfect sense.
Start high and work your way down.
Exactly. Aim high. That's pretty high. What historical global event do you wish you could shoot anytime in history?
Oh, wow. Anytime in history?
Yeah.
Can we go back to caveman fights?
Yeah. You want to shoot caveman fights?
Caveman versus dinosaurs, which that actually didn't happen. But yeah, if caveman versus a wolf.
When it didn't happen, what do you mean by that?
Because cavemen and dinosaurs, from what I remember reading, they didn't live at the same time. It's fantasy.
Gotcha.
That Hollywood.
Yeah.
From what don't quote me, but this is what I think I would. Yeah, because the time periods didn't match up.
Right.
But seriously, let's see. A more recent history event would probably. I would have loved to photograph Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech in Washington, D.C. When I was there, I guess it was anniversary of it last year. Was that 2 years ago? Now I tried to emulate some of the photos that I saw at the Lincoln Memorial there. That was really important to me to do. So yeah, it would be that.
Great answer. Goes to a similar question for the next one. If you could shoot anyone's portrait, who would it be?
If I could shoot anyone's portrait, I would have already shot Martin Luther King. 3 people I'm going to pick. I want to say I would pick Biggie.
Okay.
I would pick Tupac. And I would pick, out of all people in the world, Barack Obama.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you have an opportunity to shoot? Never?
Never. Yeah, hopefully it'll happen one day.
Let's talk to D Nice. He's got that plug.
Right, he does.
Yeah.
I'm going to text him right now. Last time I texted him, I was talking about his sparkly suit on and the Oscar was like, "Damn, boy, you shining."
I was with D Nice once, hanging out at a bar, and then he's actually texting with Obama right there, and I'm like, "That's awesome." Tell him I said hi.
This guy, D Nice.
He deserves. He's a good dude.
He does.
All right, the last question is, what's your favorite food? I know time constraints, your schedule, you couldn't bring it. But
no,
let's talk it through.
I totally missed that. You texted me while I was just on a photo shoot.
Yeah.
My favorite food? Let's see. Probably right now I would say it's these salads from, what is that place called?
You just lost your street cred.
Yeah. What's the salad place called?
Sweet Greens?
Sweet Greens.
Yeah.
It's the Harvest Bowl.
Oh, that's a go-to. That's like the $15 salad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your move. Is there one in Jersey City?
Yeah.
There is?
Yeah, Exchange Place.
Okay. Good to know.
There is. That's my go-to right now. But I do love chicken tikka masala. I do love pizza. It's my favorite. One of my favorites is Caribbean food. Stewed chicken. You
make me hungry.
Jerk chicken patty.
Yeah. Keep going.
Let's see. Chicken sandwiches. That's a good
Bodega chicken sandwiches?
No,
No?
I'm doing like a fried chicken sandwich, maybe
Okay.
from like White Star Turkey Burger
Ooh,
or something
good
like
spot.
that.
That's what I had last time I was at White Star. I had turkey burger.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love sandwiches, but I'm trying to cut off on the bread. I feel like that's why I've been on the salads. So you said
You
right
look like
now,
you're in good shape, man.
I'm trying to.
How old are you now?
45. I'll be
Okay.
46 in
Yeah.
a couple months.
I'll say you're in a
August.
lot better shape than most 35-year-olds I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know you got to go. I'd love to get you back when your schedule allows.
Yes, I got to go pack for a trip. I'm going to Senegal and the Gambia tomorrow.
I'm dying to go to Dakar.
Yeah, I've
That's
never been.
My
First
friend
time.
ran for president of Dakar.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah, if you run into any trouble, don't call me. He can't
Yeah.
help.
Bet. I think I'll be good. I'll be with the World Bank. They'll take care of me.
Okay, well, yeah. So, shout
Yeah,
out
the
to
connections.
that. Thank you for being on the show. I'll
Thank
have
you,
back.
man.
And anytime you want to be part of Outsiders, let me know.
Yes.
Even if it's just to come through with your wife or by yourself, get some alone time. I might have a camping weekend this summer that I want you to come to.
Okay.
If you have the time.
Let me know.
All right.
I'm there.
All right, Mel D.Cole. Thank you.
Peace.